Um,
Is it for you to join?
mhm.
Oh, there's no for me to use my own now since you have decided
Use your own word now.
headphone. I'll be in double.
So, I'm talking to the hearing. Maybe you just reduce your. What's that? Yeah. All right, good evening, everyone. I I guess we can kick off now that we have a number of us here. Um, so, first thing I want to let us know that maybe, hopefully, by next week, we should be concluding this module of HTML. We are almost at the end of the HTML module. Um, when we finish the HTML module, I'm going to give us an assignment that's going to require you to to practice everything that you've learned, if not everything, at least about 75% of everything that we've been taught. So you're going to be designing a web page, and I'll be telling you the features that I would like the web page to have, and that will be your assignment for that week. So that particular week, we may not be having lectures because I would like you to just focus more on that assignment and get it done. Then we'll resume with the CSS module class the following week. I hope that works for us. So we've been considering some, I'm going to share my screen now anyway. I've been considering different you can hear me faintly. Happen every time. Let me see. Let me see. Let's see what we can do. Let me know when it's better. Everything here is fine. How does it sound now? Does it sound okay? Um, Hello, can you hear me better? Can somebody confirm if you can hear me much better? Okay, I guess I'm just going to happy birthday again, Agbola. We have another birthday today that we're going to celebrate as well. And when that time comes, we will celebrate the birthday. So I was saying that we will be having tests, not a test, assignment, that will enable us to go through most of the things that we've been taught, most of the things we have learned, right there in that particular assignment that you're going to have a web page for us to see. So everybody's going to have to design a web page. So what I'm going to do also, to make it much more interactive for you guys, I'm probably going to group you guys, maybe in group of threes, so that it can be a situation where you guys can rub your minds together, all right, and together, and that's going to be a good learning stuff for you guys. All right, so who can remind me one or two things that we learned yesterday? One or two things that you learned yesterday. Can somebody remind me? Anybody there? You can unmute yourself to speak. Please feel free to unmute yourself. Let me see if some of us are still following. Mr. Paul, you can't hear me clearly. What's going on? Why is everybody not hearing me clearly? I hope you can hear me now. Hello, can we hear me? Can everybody hear me clearly? Okay. Thank you, Owoduni. Okay. So who can tell us what we learned yesterday? Anybody? Anyone at all? Okay, it appears nobody is willing to talk. Oh, forms. Thank you, Esther. Okay, another Esther. Esther's are winning in this team. Oh. Maybe I'll group all the Esther's together. Self. Form element, HTML attributes. Well done. Yeah, forms. Yeah, we spoke more about forms. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, guys. So let's kick off today's class and run through it again. All right. I want to share my screen now. Screen sharing done. I hope everybody can see my screen. Okay. So today we'll be proceeding with input types. As usual, get ready to code. All right. Proceed with input types today, and there's a number of them that we'll be looking at. So the default value for type attribute is text. So in case you put input and you didn't put any type attribute, it's going to give you text by default. So but we have some other kind of input types or other types of input types. I hope that makes sense. You know, that we can work with. We have the button, checkbox, color, date time, local, email, file, hidden, image, month, number, password, radio, range, reset, search, submit, tell, text, time, URL, and week. We will be looking at all this. Wow, seems so much, but we take them one by one. So we take them down one by one. All right, so let's proceed to the next slide. So the first one we're looking at is the text type, which we are very familiar with. So I don't think I should spend too much time here, on this particular input type. We've been working with it for the past, say, 2 weeks or so, or 3 weeks, and I'm sure we all are familiar with it. So I'm going to be spending time more on the ones that we are not really familiar with, and then we'll be coding on those ones. How that works for us, okay? So that we don't really waste much time on on the lessons tonight. All right. So input type text defines a single line text, for input. And then we have password. So this one, we're going to try this one because we've never worked with password type before. So I want to whip up your visual code, visual, yeah, VS code, Visual Studio code. What's wrong with me? I'm always forgetting all these things. Okay, such a long day. So Visual Studio Code, whip it up. I'm going to whip my own up, create a new folder for this day, day 18. Day 18, right here, new folder, and say day 18. Don't worry about the casing for mine. Just leave it like that. But let me change it. Rename the folder, day 18. Yep. So under the 18, create a new folder, a new file, not folder, and call it password.html. So password.html. How's this now? Okay. So, I mean, off the top of my head, as you can also imagine, the password type is for password field. That's a text box where you enter a password. All right. So we're going to create a form now. You're going to be typing out this form that is here. So quickly start typing now, as I type as well. Type it in the body elements. So you type your form. And then we use our label. By now we are so used to this label, and it's for username. And then we close this tag and we put in username here with a colon. Then the next thing we are typing is an input element of type text. Type text. And we give it an ID, call it username, and give it a name, call it username. All right. We close it. I'll put a line break, tag, and as usual, I'm just going to copy these two line of code and I'll paste it below. This time around, take this out. Okay. So right here, I'm going to change this to password as pwd and change this text also to password. Now instead of type text, to be type password. All right, that's the type we are using here. So ID is going to be pwd. The name also pwd. Yeah. So we have, let me add one more line break here. So we have boxes, text boxes here. Make sure you save your work. So we can, if you type anything in this password field, I hope you can see what I'm doing here. It's going to come out in asterisks. All right, that's because the type we're using here is the type password. So when you're creating a page or you're trying to create a login page where you want the password to be entered, you use the type password. Okay, the input type you'll be using is going to be password. Let's take note of that. So let me just run this. And username, you can say class user. And password, password. So you can see that it is entered in asterisks. All right, it's all in asterisks. That's because we use this as password type. Right, so that's what you do with password. Well done, Esther. Who is done again? Who is done? Okay. Usola, well done. Esther Yola, well done. Tosin, well done. I hope it worked exactly as you've seen. I hope so. I hope that worked. Great. Okay. Maybe we want our stuff to look exactly like we're seeing on the online. Please add a line break again after your label. And another line break after this label. Then we can take this one out. So it gives us exactly what we are saying below here. What if we want to add hey, Jubilee. You want to add a hi. Don't worry, we'll get there. Those ones that you see eyes on, they are not just ordinary password text like this. Those ones are, what do I put it now? What's that word? Those ones are done when you're doing programming. I think those ones comes with program. I'm not sure this input type has that functionality. Okay, I understand what you're saying. Let's continue. All right, so that's password type. Okay, input type password. And then we go to input type submit. We have done this over and over and over and over and over and over again. So everybody should know how to enter the input type submit. right? Guys, just give me a minute, please. Guys, I apologize. Just give me like 2 to 3 more minutes, please. All right, apologies, please. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay, so um, and ignore that screen that you saw. Ignore it. All right, so the submit button, like we've been working with uh, since, we are all familiar with submit button, what it does. Okay, and of course, it's used to send data from your client system, which is your own system, all the way to the server. So the server is able to process the form's data right there. So that's what the submit button does. All right, so we're going to move forward. We're going to write this code right now. So we move forward. All right. So then we have the reset button. Now, what a reset button does that is that it resets um, the input buttons that you have, the input controls you have. Permit me to call them controls because in ASP.NET, that's what we call them. So the input elements that you have, you reset them to their default state. Okay, so we're going to try that right now. So I want you to whip up your Visual Studio Code and then put this code in there. Create a new file and call it reset.html. Reset.html. So I'm going to be doing the same thing here as well. New file under Day18 and call it reset.html. Create your structure and go straight into the body element, and let's type out this form. So type along with me as typing, and also remember that this action action page .php is just a dummy page that we just create there. It's fictional. So we then type label 4 equals to f name. All these examples, I believe we are already familiar with them, but we want to test the reset button right now. So after the label, put your line break and go next to input. Input of type text, and we have the ID as f name, and the name attribute set to f name as well. And now we put a value there. Value is what will appear inside the text box that we are going to be creating. All right, so after this, close it and put a line break again. So as usual, my style, I'm going to copy this and paste it. And then I'll just change this stuff. This is our name. Our name. This time around, I'm going to type in Doe in here. So that's John Doe. I hope I have set everything correctly. Yeah. So the next thing we are typing is our submit button. Okay, so input of type submit, and value is equal to submit, and then we close this. And the next thing we're going to type is we'll now create the reset button. So input again. This time around, the type is reset, and then we just close it. So O is done before we test what we're doing. All right, well done, Esther Ayala. Well done, Busola. So you can run it in the browser. Well done, Tosin. Change the John Doe to something else. Maybe change it to your own name, and then click on the reset button. And let me see. Tell me what happens. Well done, Grace. So I'm going to try to work with the preview here. So I'll change this to Jack Richer. And I click on the reset button. It will change it back to John Doe. So that's what your reset button does. But see, in a real life scenario, I don't think I want to enter the first name and last name for anybody at that time I'm coding. I want to leave it blank. So I want to show you something, and the way you can use your reset button, sorry, one way you can use your reset button is to use it to erase whatever anybody has entered in any text box or any what's it called now, checkbox or something. So instead of adding John to this, I'm going to take this value attribute out. So that I'm having an empty text box. All right. So if I go ahead and type John Doe, which we have there before, here, and I click on reset, it's going to clean off everything inside. So that's one usefulness of your reset input type. You can use it to erase whatever anybody has entered, whatever you have entered in a form. So it kind of resets your form back to the default state. And right now, the default state here, because I didn't assign any value to the text boxes, they're supposed to be empty, so they are empty. All right, so you can try that also at your hand. Let me know how it goes. So quickly try that at your hand. Tell me if the reset button that you clicked cleans out whatever you have typed in there. You know, you can type something like, what's your first name? My first name is Dayo. No, let me use my name is Emeka, for example. Emeka, um, Emeka Adelabu, for example. Okay. And I look at it, I say, oh, I don't want to enter Emeka Adelabu. I need to erase. So instead of me going to click backspace multiple times or delete multiple times, I can just press my reset button. Voila. Everything is back to how they're supposed to be. All right. Well done, Esther. Well done, Busola. Well done, Tosin. Okay, so let's proceed to our next control, our next input type. So type submit. We are used to that already, so we know what submit does. Okay, it sends the data that you have here, it sends it all the way. Sorry, but it's supposed to be reset. Why am I putting submit here? Apologies. I click save. I'm so sorry, guys. Just pardon me, please. All right, so the code here give us this, and we all understand what this does now. So radio button, we've worked with this before, I believe, but I just want us to code against it again as a reminder. I think we sparingly touched on it when we treated it. So your radio button is used to let the user select only one value or only one option, okay, from a number of choices. All right, choices may be two, three, four, as many choices as you may want to present. but it only allows you to select one at a time, just one at a time. So create a new file and call it radio. All right. You can name it radio button instead of radio. I think we've treated radio before. We've named a file radio while we were treating this before. So let's name it radio button dot html. Why are you opening here? So create our structure. So let's type. The first thing we are typing here is the paragraph element that says choose your favorite web language. Choose your favorite web language. And then we go down and create our form. Here we have input of type radio. That's what creates our radio button. ID, HTML, name. Name is fav language, fav underscore language. And the value is HTML in caps. And then we close this element. And we go to the next and we create a label. Attribute 4 equal to HTML in lowercase. We close it and type our HTML literal in capital letter. And we had the BR elements. Now, we all know what the 4 attributes is doing here. So the 4 attributes is what ties this label to this radio button that we have here. Okay. Good news, sir. Just joined the class yesterday. Okay. Okay. All right. Just okay. What do you need? Tell Naomi to give you my number, and then let's talk later. Okay. Okay. So we continue. I was trying to explain what this 4 attribute does. So what the 4 attribute does is that it ties this label to this radio button that we have here, which means when you click on the label HTML, the radio button will be activated. All right. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to copy this as usual and just paste it. I think I have to paste like twice, and I paste it again. Then I'm going to change this to CSS. First, I'm going to change this to CSS here. CSS. By now, somebody should be wondering something right here, but I'm not going to say anything yet. This also will be changed to CSS. I want to see those who are very observant. This will be changed to CSS. Okay. So this one we're using as JavaScript. JavaScript. By now, I think someone should be asking me a question, actually. Value is JavaScript. Yep, someone should be asking me a question. All right. So we have input of radio type, ID HTML, name fav language, value HTML. Then we have our label also showing HTML. And there are CSS. I mean, the CSS one also name is fav language, and the value is CSS. Everything goes same for um, JavaScript as well. Everything goes same for JavaScript as well. So right here, what our for is doing, if I come here and click on this button, of course it will be activated. Okay, where our for comes to play is if I click on CSS label, this button will be activated. So let's take, for instance, I change this CSS for this label to CSS R. All right. So I want to watch very closely here. So for HTML, if I click on the label, it is activated. For CSS, which I have changed the for value here, I click on it. It's not activating. It's not doing nothing. That's because the name ID here is not the same as the value for the for attributes. So they are not married together. So if we take this out, click on CSS now, it will be activated. So your for attribute is very, very important. Don't forget it when you're creating label with some of these controls. Okay. My JavaScript is not clicking. What's going on? Ah, I see, because I still have HTML here. See what that does? So I've changed this to JavaScript. And now I can click it. So you see how important the for attribute is. All right. So nobody is telling me they are done. What's going on? Usola, well done. If you are done, just type it there. Whether I'm asking for it or not, just type it there that you're done. Especially when I say you write code. Yeah, Jubilee, well done. Esther Yola, well done. Esther Mojubu, well done. Okay, so let's proceed. Well done, guys. Like it when I'm seeing this done, 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 done. It's like when you are pumping fuel inside me. Okay, so let's proceed to the next slide and we look at the next input type. So we have check box, input type check box. Well done, Naomi. So input type checkbox. I know we've worked with this before. I don't want to go through it again. It works more like the option button, but this time around you can select more than one choices. You can select all the choices. You can select just a single one if you want, as you like, whichever one that you want to do. Okay, so it gives you a chance to select more than one checkbox. Okay, and it looks like this. So you can select more than one check boxes. So if I ask you what's the difference between um, radio button and the check boxes, I mean input type, you should be able to tell me that radio button allows for only one option to be selected at a time, and the checkbox allows for multiple options to be selected at a time. So let's move on. So input type button, we did this yesterday, which we used to pop up a message, hello world. So I'm not going to dwell on this tonight. Yeah, one interesting one, input type color. It is used to input fields that should contain a color. Depending on the browser support, a color picker can show up in the input. So let's try if our own browser will show up a color picker, which means something that you can use to pick up color. So create a new file and name it color. Color.html. Color.html. And let's code. So create your form. Make sure you're coding. Create your label. 4 equals to fave color. Fave color. Close it. And we type the literal select. Nah. So select your favorite color. Right. So go next line, and then we do our input element there of type color. So the type is color. ID equals to fave color. And the name of the input is fave color. And then we close this. Esther Yola, well done. Well done, Busola. Well done, guys. You guys were faster than me. Oh, that's good. So test it wherever you are. Test what you're doing and be sure it's working. Okay. Wow, mine is working. Is yours working? So click on the black button there, and then a color picker should pop up. A color picker is popping up, right? You can see RGB that we are used to. You can change to HSL, you can change to X, you can change to RGB again, right? Yeah, working. I love the sound of that. That's music to my ears. Okay, so let's go on. So I really like you guys to play around all this at your leisure time. Okay, please play around it. All right, well done, Esther. So please make sure you are playing around it so that you get used to all these things, because it's easy to forget most of these controls when you don't use them all the time. It's easy to forget them. So frequent practice will really go a long way to help you. So now we talk about the input type date, and it is used to input fields that should contain date. Depending on the browser support, a date picker should show up. Okay, so we're going to type this code again and create a new file and give it the name date. Don't be tired of creating files. I just want everything separated so that anytime you want to refer to any of these documents, it's going to be easier for you to refer to them. Okay, so date. All right, so who has finished? Let's code. Somebody has finished. Now, wow. Wait for me now. Let me to finish typing. All right, label. And then 4. Give it birthday. And name it birthday. Go to the next input. Type of date. ID birthday. Name as well birthday. Okay, so when done, You run it. Okay, done. It's showing day, month, and year. Well done, well done, well done, Paul. Well done, Busola. Well done, well done. That okay. So let's test what we've done. So it shows this, and then you can select whichever date you want to select. Um, Pick a month if you want to. So, and then you have the dates there. You can take the value of these dates and use it for anything you want to use it for. Select this box that is here. Pick any date. It's going to reflect here. Okay. So that's your date picker. In case you are creating a form for people to enter their personal details like date of birth, you can use this to you know get that information. All right. All right. So let's move forward. So we also have, along with the date type, you can specify a min and max attribute right there, which means that you can say particular, it should not be the date, the maximum date value that you want there. You put the dates in there, preceding with the year, the month, and the day. All right. The minimum one you want, put the year, the month, and the day. So what that would do is going to restrict people from it's going to restrict people from being able to enter any date that is outside these values. All right, it's outside of these values. It's going to restrict them from doing that. So I want to edit your code to this, or instead of editing your code, you can just go down, create an horizontal row with the HR tag. I like to create two this time around, and then write this code right under here. So write this code so that we can test it. Okay. So form. Yes, Dada, you can type the dates without selecting as well. That's correct. So label for this for dates max. Okay, so enter a date before 1980 0101, and the label is closed. Yep. Next, input of type date, ID, date max, name, date max. And then here we will specify the maximum attribute. The value is going to be 1979. Where's my my hmm. So value is going to be 1979 12 31. All right. So we close that and add two line breaks. And we take the next one. This time around, I'm just going to copy what I have here and I'm going to paste it. And then I'll change this to dates main. And before becomes after. Year 2000, 0101. Okay. And here, I'm going to change this to dates main. And dates main short to that. And the value here is going to be 2000 as a year, month, 01 as January, here 02, 2nd of January. So you can save this. Bisola, well done. Please test it, test your values and see if it works. So for the date before 0101, so I could do okay. Bum, 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 bum. Let me enter date after 1980. Let me see. I want to enter a date after 1980. See, I can't even find 1980 there because I have specified a minimum date. So every date that is allowed here has to be before 1980, January 1, January 1. Okay, and it cannot go beyond. Okay, for this one, it has to be after year 2000, right? So um, don't mind me. I made a mistake here. So this is supposed to be mean. Okay. Right. This is supposed to be mean. Please correct yours if you made that mistake too. Okay. So I shouldn't be able to see year 2000 here. So um, so anything minimum is year 2000. I hope I'm confused. Uh, okay, I think I'm correct. So the date I'm entering has to be after year 2000. So that's why I have all this. So I can't see 1999 at all. But yeah. Okay, so we're good with what we've done. All right, so that's your dates, and we move forward. Then there's the date time locale. Date time locale. This specifies the date and time input field with no time zone. Depending on the browser support, a date time picker should show up. Okay, so yeah, well done, Sola. Well done, Dada. Well done, Esther. So let's quickly do this also. Create a new file and name it date time .html. And we create a structure. And then we code form, start with our label, for elements, for attribute rather. We give it a birth date. bed time, and close this, and then type birthday uh, in brackets. You put in dates and time. Close the bracket. Type your colon. So we go next line and put in our input of type date time local ID. Always ensure your ID is the same as the value for the 4 attributes for the label. Date time, birthday time, name also should be same. So when done, close it. So as we can see here, let me run this in the browser so that we can see properly. You can do the same at your hand, run yours in a browser. So I'm just going to increase this so you can see properly. Well done, Esther Mujo. Well done, Busola. So here we can enter both the date and the time. You can see the fields appearing for you. So maybe they gave birth to me on the 28th of April 2023. And I want to enter a time, 11:04 p.m. Bam. Here you go. So this is getting more interesting for us. All right, well done, Dada. So that's how that works. Okay. And then we have the type email. I hope I'm not moving too fast. So we have the type email. And for most of us who fill form online, we could see sometimes when you're entering your email in a field and you just say you could send, maybe the email has a problem, then there comes an error for you. So this is how we create that text box that receives emails. Okay, this is used to input fields that should contain an email address. Depending on the browser support, the email address can be automatically validated when submitted. Some smartphone recognizes email type and add a .com to the keyboard to match the input. Some will add the @ symbol, on your normal keyboard to match the fact that you are typing in an email. So let's quickly type this, create a new file, name it email.html. And then create a structure. Type in our form to create it. Label. 4 attributes set to email. Enter the literal, enter your email. Okay. So now we create the email input of type email. Email ID, make it the same as the value for the 4 attribute for the label. Name, same thing. Email. And then you close it. All right, so here we're supposed to type in an email address, and the server side or the browser should be able to see that this is an email. Well done, Busola. All right, so you can save this, open it up in a browser, and type in your email. My email is this. You can see that even my browser recognizes that this is an email field. Okay, so that are giving me a suggestion of email addresses that I've used in my browser before. So this is not going to go through because it's going to throw an error at the end of the day if we are supposed to do this in real life scenario. Okay, so well done everyone. Well done Esther, well done Naomi, well done guys. All right, so that's email for you. If you're loading it up on your mobile phone, you would have seen the @ symbol or the .com, depending on the whether it's Android or iOS that you're using. So the next one is image that we're going to be looking at now. All right, so this image type, I guess, is something we've worked with before. But this time around, let's see what we can get online. Let's download something. Let's download a button, for example, a button image. I'd like to use one of these. Let me put PNG so that it can give me something that is transparent. Okay. Let's see. This should be transparent, I think. So I can download this. What? Ah, I. Okay, for the sake of this class, continue. So I'm going to share this with you guys on what's all this? All this website with free stuff. So download PNG file. Oh God. Just download for me. Ah, I'll rename it to button. Okay, finally, I got the file. So I want to send this file to you so that you can download at your end. I'm sending a file from my computer. I think I have it in the download folder and open. Voila. So you have that image, you can download it to your system so that we can use it. So in your code, you need to copy the image to the same folder as your Day18. So I'm going to do that now. From my downloads, I'll copy the file. Copy. So sorry guys, I thought I've pressed send too. I hope you can see the image now. So please download the image, save it in your Day18 folder. Okay, just as I'm going to do, I'm copying it right here and I'm going to my Day18 folder right here. I'm going to just paste it here. I hope it will show in my VS Code. There you go. So it's here. So create a new file and give it the name image button. Image button.html. Let's create our structure. We go to the body and we type in this code. Let me just minimize this. So we type in this code form, form, input of type image. Of course, every image needs a source, so you put a source attribute there. And of course, I named it button, so just type it in there. They're in the same folder, so I don't need to put any slash slash. Because we're dealing with image, let's add our alt attribute, give it a value of submit. We can specify the width. Let's use width of 48 and a height of 48, making it equal. All right, close it. And there is our image right here. Save, let's view in a browser. So this is our image here. It's clickable. Hmm? You can see it. I'm clicking it. So that's what you do with your image button. I can use this anywhere, anytime that I want. Okay. All right. So we'll move next. Oh yeah, guys. Is this is a small code though? You're not typing done yet. I've not seen done. Who is done? Tosin, well done. Okay, well done, Esther. Well done, Tosin. Just two people. I hope other people are not sleeping. All right. So let's just do one more so I don't bombard you guys too much. All right. Well done, Esther. So we'll go next to file. So we'll be ending here on file so that I don't give you guys too much at one time. We'll continue the rest tomorrow by grace of God. So let's quickly do file. File, of course, is used to select files, from your computer and load it up into your web browser so that you can upload it somewhere. All right. So create a new file and name it file.html. Create a structure, form. Oh, create a label, for my file. Close it. Select a file. Input type. Here we choose file as the input type. ID equals to my file. Same goes for name attributes. My file. And we close this. So you can test it in the browser. So as you can see, I have a button that says choose file. Choose file. So if I do this, choose file, and I go to, so don't worry about this select SA file. Let me just correct it. Where is it? Yeah, this is where it is. And then I'll save it. All right, that's what it is. All right, well done, Busala, well done, Esther, well done, Naomi. Let me just reload this. So when you select this choose file, it opens the dialog box to select a file for you. All right. You can just choose any file. Let me choose the image we downloaded. So I choose this image and I click on open. So it's here. So right now that image is loaded into this page, ready to be used for whatever you want to use it for. Maybe you want to store it in a browser, I mean in a database, or you want to send it somewhere. You can do anything with it. Well done, Tosin. Well done, Esther. Yeah, just like Facebook, when you upload your profile picture and all that, this is what you use to do that. Okay, I believe that makes sense to us. Okay, so we're going to stop here tonight. Let's not bombard our brain too much. Tomorrow we'll continue from hidden type. So all these things that we are looking at, that we are studying, that we are trying to code against, is going to be useful for us by the time we start proper web programming. All right, and it's going to really be interesting, and that's why we're taking the HTML module first, giving you a background of the HTML language itself, so that you can then use the knowledge you have in the HTML to create your pages, and then use Python and Django to program against it, and then you'll be able to use it properly for yourself. If there's enough time, I might take us through, that's if we have time, okay, or if we are ready, we might go through some SQL basics as well. SQL has to do with database, so it would be good for you to also know about database as well. That is kind of contained in the Django module, but we look at it so that you can write programs that stores information in a database. All right, and that's going to really help you in writing your code, developing programs that make sense. Okay. So yesterday we celebrated someone's birthday here. I think we have another person who is also celebrating a birthday today. And so join me and help me to celebrate another student of ours in this class. It's no other person than our dear Esther Omojowo. Happy birthday to you. It's my prayer that God will bless you tremendously this your new year. God will continue to bless you with greater things, good things, wonderful things, powerful things. God will not leave you, and He will continue to uphold you in all that you do in Jesus' name. The glory of God shall shine over you, shall shine upon you in the name of Jesus, and shall be well with you on every side in Jesus' name. So happy birthday, Esther. Please let's wish her a happy birthday. If you want to unmute your mic to wish her, you can go ahead and unmute your mic to wish her, or just type it in the chat window to wish her a happy birthday. So, um, happy birthday. Yeah, God bless you. We've come to the end of today's class, and we believe that all that we have learned and that we are learning, that God is going to be teaching us more. We're going to really, really, really be able to assimilate and understand them. And right now, the class is getting more interesting. We're going to see things that we're doing, going to know some things, some of the controls, some of the inputs, and all that. And that is really, really going to help you in future. Um, okay, Madam Owoduni, I think I would tell Naomi to send you the link to join the Telegram group, since you are really willing to continue with us from where we are. She will send you the link to the Telegram group, and also the link to the what's it called now, Google Classroom. I did not post attendance for this class today. I'm going to post it later tonight. Please, when you get the notification, just go ahead and type in your um, I mean, fill it up, mark your attendance. That's what I mean, actually. So thank you guys for your time today. I pray the Lord will bless you continually in the name of Jesus. God will uphold you. All of you celebrating your birthday, just be gathering my cake. Oh. Maybe the day we will do graduation, I will collect all the cake from all of you. All right? All the cake. Yeah, April people. Okay, you are the people that started it. Well done. It's good. Mr. Tosin, you are April 2nd. Interesting. Wonderful. Happy birthday in arrears to you too. All right, guys. I think I'll end the class here. It's been interesting so far. And I love you guys. Busola, thank you for attending class today. Busayo, thank you for attending class today. Mr. Daniel, thank you for attending class today. Ibele, well done. Good to see you again. Thank you for attending class today. Esther Yola, thank you for attending class today. Esther Mojowo, happy birthday, and thank you for attending class today. Naomi, thank you for attending class today. Tosin, well done. Thank you for attending class today. Grace, good to see you. Thank you for attending class today. And Owoduni, welcome to our class. And thank you for attending class today and yesterday. So till I see you again tomorrow. Tomorrow is Saturday. Our class won't hold in the morning. I think it's going to be in the evening, um, probably around 6 p.m. But I'm going to send us a message on Telegram tomorrow. I'm taking a trip somewhere tomorrow in the morning hours. So won't be able to take the class in the morning. It's going to be in the evening by the grace of God. So take time to relax till evening tomorrow. So I'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you guys and have a lovely night. Bye bye.